two candidates debated in the presidential debate of the first presidential debate of 2024. And then we immediately focused on one of those candidates and, afraid that he had failed, and all the attention went there. But from my shamanic perspective, two candidates debated and four parties failed. They failed the test of leadership that was embedded in that debate. And that's okay. That's okay. That's part of sacred design, because mistakes is how we learn how to course correct. This is a time of unprecedented changes, both at a planetary and a political level. And we are all called to become more creative and more fluid in order to meet these changes. We are also called to shift from fear and separation into freedom and unity. That is the essential transformation we as humans need to realize. The first presidential debate of 2024 was a little taster of what's coming. It contains golden nuggets that can carry us through this tumultuous time if we learn from our mistakes. You are watching the first of 4 videos in the series Mythical Journey and Sacred Lessons for Democracy in the Time of the Pachakuti. In parts 2 and 3, we will go into a journey to reflect on the first presidential debate from the perspective of the Aztec Mayan mythology of a smoking mirror and feather serpent. On part 4, we will face the specific and fundamental changes that we need to generate in order to evolve democracy in this quantum evolution. So we will dig more specifically into how elections are being played and what needs to change. No, I'm not a political expert, so I'm talking about mindsets, perceptions, habits. It's like the big picture within the quantum leap that we're creating right now. These are very turbulent times. People are really upset and scared. But there is a sacred design. There is an evolution here happening. And when we look around, we see chaos and we see division and extremes, and we get overwhelmed and even depressed, In this first video, I invite you to enter serenity so that we can reflect on the cosmic, planetary, and evolutionary context for the political challenges to democracy that we are facing now. This will help you develop clarity for the choices that you want to make and the choices we need to make in order to defend and evolve democracy. If you are ready to understand the sacred design in this apparent madness that we're going through, and to learn the spiritual lessons that we need in order to grow from fear into freedom, then join me in this first video and then subscribe to receive notices of the videos that will immediately follow. Hi, beautiful souls. I am Maria Mar, artist, story weaver, and shaman. And this is the Alchemy Atelier, where you enjoy art as alchemy for life. I help you to awaken your creativity as the brush to paint your life and work in the true colors of your soul. I am here today for us to enter the serenity zone of our sacred heart so that we can reflect, so we can detach from all the high stakes and panic in these elections and reflect. Reflect on what is going on, not only politically, but cosmically, because these are unprecedented times of transformation. To do this, to reflect in a way that empowers us to become creator beings and to co-create the transformations we need in order to grow as humans, to repair the earth, and to defend and evolve our democracy. I started this video by saying that two candidates debated, but four parties were failed in the test that this debate provided. 2, 4? What? Here's why. The first test in the debate was a test of leadership, right? It was not about who spoke louder or said the most lies or said the last word, but about who could lead us in our goal to preserve and evolve our democracy. And this test, both debate candidates failed, both of them, for very different reasons. Reasons that with all our fear-based reactivity, the majority of us have failed to see. In today's mythical journey, we will discover the real spiritual and energy challenges that each participant failed to meet and the opportunities that these mistakes open for our democracy. So when I say spiritual, I am not meaning religious. I am meaning energy, because we are energy beings. Conscious energy, that's what we are. So from a shamanic perspective, we are talking about our energy, our vibration, and our perceptions, right? So that was the first test we failed. That was about who could lead us to democracy. And I'm talking about the debate, all right, the first debate. So that's one event. The second, and perhaps the most important test that event presented, was for us. For we, the people, were also being tested. And it was a test to see if we are ready to become the citizen leader. And I will keep talking about this concept of the citizen leader as we move into the journey. This test was about our ability to move from reactive fear and separation into unity, so that we can co-create a new reality with the power of our unified intention. Okay, so listen to those words, right? Unified intention. It was also about moving from reactive fear that leads us to give away our power to the sovereign leader, an obsolete version of leadership that's a relic from patriarchal domination. So you will hear also that term sovereign leader as that leader that is the alpha, that is dominating, and we perceive that as power because that's what we live. So our test here was not to give away our power to that leader, and instead to respond from our creative power in order to enter a co-creation with a facilitator leader, which is the new type of leader we need for this moment. so that we can create an evolved democracy. Because an evolved democracy is a dance of two, right? It's not about, well, the leader, we just vote and then let him do it. No, that's what we've been doing. And that's a problem, right? It's about a co-creation with our leaders. So we need to be very engaged and awake and active and educated. So the test was that. Are we ready to be the citizen leaders in order to evolve democracy? Because democracy needs engaged participants. Otherwise, we just let it drop, let it die. So we need to look at how and why we failed the test to be the people. And it will surprise you what our mistakes were. I haven't heard anybody speaking about it. All this commotion and panic and reaction. All right. So that's what we're doing. And another thing that we will be reflecting upon was that while both debaters failed their tests, we are failing to see the real reasons for that failure. We're focusing on what's not important, and we're failing to see the real reasons. And that is just one part of our mistake so far, right? So we want to see how we, the people, failed. And again, this failure is not a bad thing. It is part of sacred design because it's preparing us, it's awakening us, it's shaking us awake. All right. So no judgment here. No judgment here. Let's just reflect. In this journey, we will also explore the many facets of the mistakes that we all made. But to start with, let us say that we, the people, we are so scared that the supremacist right will break our democracy that we've allowed that fear to confuse us. As a result, we fell into a reality that they painted, and we became fragmented and weakened. Again, remember, no judgment, no shame, no need to take sides because we are all on the same side, in the side of democracy, in the side of evolution, in the side of love, right? So we're just looking at everything to learn so we can course correct. So yes, we panicked. Basically, we panicked. I'm the first one. I'm telling you, I was like, so it's okay. We're humans. We panic. However, in these mistakes we've made, now there is a great opportunity. We are being presented with an amazing sacred design right now. We are awakened and we are shown what needs to change for democracy to evolve. We are getting it, and we're getting it in a way that we're active and we're involved and engaged, and it's and we're alive. And so I am very excited, and that's what we need to do. We need to take our fear and fear brings us down. Take that fear, and instead of allowing it to bring us our frequency down, we transform it into excitement for the evolution of democracy. And that brings us up and puts us charges us up for our for the task ahead, for transformation, right? So do you see what's going on here? Okay. So from a shamanic perspective, we don't need, we're gonna make mistakes. That we're changing. And we're profoundly changing, and you're going to see that later. So we're going to make mistakes. But from a shamanic perspective, mistakes are just the pointers that show us how to do a course correction, right, into success. Equally, when we release fear or turn it into excitement and curiosity, then we can examine our problems with clarity. And what happens is that problems are not obstacles. It looks like that when we come at it from fear or when we don't see ourselves as the creators. But when we shift, which is what we're being helped to do through all of this, then they become portals. Problems become portals to opportunities. And so what we're going to do in this journey is go deep, and in order to go deep, we need to not react, not to judge ourselves. We need to listen with our heart and let the wisdom of our heart expand our perception. Because when we do this, problems become portals to opportunities. Mistakes become pointers to course correct for success. And that's our journey. Most of us turn on the TV to see the presidential debates as watchers, to see who would win. We came to the debate already full of trepidation because the stakes are very high. The survival of our democracy. We came out of the debate disappointed, with our fears exacerbated into panic. But that was our mistake. You see, we are not just watchers in this debate. We were one of the parties. And when we sat passively waiting to see who won, we adopted an old mindset that we need to shed in order to create evolved democracy. In the evolved democracy, we're active creation agents that co-create change with our leaders. Active creative agents that co-create change with our leaders. That's the citizen leader. So I will talk more about this mindset in the journey. But for now, I want you to put this in your journey backpack. From a spiritual perspective, our leaders are sacred mirrors of our beliefs in power, strength, authority, success, and leadership. They are also a shadow mirror where we project our power shadows. And this is very profound. Because then we need to ask ourselves, look at these leaders and say, what they teach us about ourselves, because we either elected them or we somehow allowed them to be in leadership. And you see what's happening when with the language we're using now. We're shifting into being the creator. How did I do this? How do I change this? How do I co-create this? But together, in unified intentionality. All right. So look at already, we haven't started the journey. We're just in the summary and all the golden nuggets that we can extract from our experience so far. If you have been listening to shamans, spiritual teachers, and cosmic travelers, you may have heard by now that the times we're living require a profound shift in humanity, a shift in our habits, learned beliefs. We're going to have to go deep into transformation, and we are required to shift our vibrational frequency to harmonize with the earth, because the earth is accelerating its vibrational frequency. And this is the transformation we are required right now in order to evolve as humans, evolve our democracy, and repair our planet. This time is one of intense changes and challenges, and one that the Mesoamerican shamans have been preparing for a long time and have been tracking and recording for a long time, and they call it the Pachakuti. The Pachakuti is the death of the old world and the birth of a new world, and it happens simultaneously. The old world is dying and the new world is birthing. So depolarization we're experiencing with political extremes and fragmented parties and unprecedented challenges to our democracy and all kinds of weird stuff. All of that is part of the process of profound change that we're undergoing individually and collectively at this time. So it's very exciting to be alive in this time. And also, if you're here, if you're still here, or if you just got here, and you became an adult at this moment, that is part of the design. All of this that is happening is a sacred design. We are being supported and helped and guided. And this moment, all of the things we messed up in this debate are part of that learning, rehearsing, recalibrating, course correcting, understanding, and uniting. So basically, we are moving from fear to love, from avoiding pain to embracing freedom, and from separation to unity. What a beautiful transformation. It's truly an evolution. And in the next section, we're going to see what this evolution entails. So, what is asked from us at this time in the history of humanity is to shift from fear to freedom. And freedom is not doing what we want. I don't want to do that. That's not freedom. Freedom is our ability to transcend, learn limitations, to be all that we can be. So what is asked of us is to shift from fear into this higher form of freedom, let's say, both as individuals and citizens. And I'm sure you're going through your own transformations as individuals, but now as citizens. So what does this mean? This means not to select or reject leaders out of fear. Not to react from that fear because fear manifests fear. We may think we want this and this is our intention, but if we allow fear to bring our energy vibration down and color our decision, then we're not manifesting what we want. We're manifesting the fear. Right? So that's super, super important. All right. Instead of that, we are invited to cultivate our personal power and our freedom to make new choices, different choices, to create what we want. And we want to create that from love, from empathy to ourselves and others, releasing the illusions of separation and entering unity consciousness, because the only truth is that we are all here together. That's the truth. We're in this together. If a Martian comes right now to Earth, you're going to see how fast we align with each other. Right? But, we are allowing fear and manipulation to separate us and to make us react. So we need to sit in our personal power and our capacity to ignite our creativity to make new choices. That awareness, the awareness of unity consciousness, allows us to come together as one, as citizen leaders, instead of giving away our power to the leaders that scare the bejesus out of us. All right, so that's my rice and beans interpretation of this. I'm first in this journey going to quickly describe what the Pachakuti is, because some of you have heard of it and some of it, it might be new for a lot of you. I'm going to describe what is happening in our time at a cosmic level. And what is the Pachakuti and why do we need this transformation? Then in videos 2 and 3, I will take you to the unfolding of an ancient Aztec Mayan myth that is happening again here right now. I want to help you see the presidential debate in a new light. The clashing of smoking mirror and feathered serpent. Leadership forces that have been warring among humanity for millennia. This mythical context can help us recognize the design of what we're living, recognize the mistakes, recognize, it's like when we see characters in a movie or in a story, we can see ourselves through them and we can detach, and that helps us to expand and deepen our understanding. So that's what we are up to here. Okay, and I hope with this that we get expansive perspective of this first debate to move us from fear to love and freedom. All right, so we are going to next explore what is the Pachakuti. But first, let us rehearse a breath practice that we can use through the entire journey to come back to our sacred heart, to our body, and embrace ourselves in unconditional love and acceptance while we relax and release stress. And also releasing judgment, blaming, guilt, shaming, so that we can flip our mistakes into opportunities. Okay, so stay embracing yourself, either rocking or swinging, which releases stress. And as you hear the Tibetan bowl, just keep inhaling deeply and gently, and exhaling as slowly and gently as you can. And as you're embracing yourself, just pledge unconditional love and acceptance to yourself, no matter what. You don't have to be perfect, all right? So let's do that for a minute. Inhale and allow spirited inspiration. Let spirit in. And as you exhale, you can create a valve effect, like so that stress comes out slowly. Focus on your breath and your body and unconditional love, no matter what noises are around you or around me, around here. Just keep breathing, gently receiving the breath of life and releasing stress. your attention inwards into your breath and your body and your feeling of acceptance that's wrapping around your whole being. An unconditional love, love from Earth Mother, love from the Cosmic Mother. So here is what is happening right now in this Pachakuti. We are in the middle of a cosmic death and rebirth that happens about every 65,000 years in our galaxy. At this time, this transition is marked by the rapid acceleration of Earth's frequency. And it has been increasing and is now increasing even faster. I mean, it used to be 787, I think 7.87, and we're now up to 39. And I saw the heartbeat, I've been seeing the live fluctuation, and it's incredible. It's like when you're running, or when you're going through a great change, like when you're birthing. It's like very intense changes in the fluctuation of Earth's frequency. So we now have to harmonize with her, because our heart beats with the heart of the mother. Right? So we need to harmonize with her and help her through our own uplifting of our vibrational frequencies. Then we help her, and we're co-birthing her, and we are moving from that third dimension to fifth dimension. So when I say vibrational uplifting, or uplifting of our vibrational frequency, when I say this birth, this transformation, we're talking about moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And this is what we call the new earth. The people who are working with this, the shamans, the cosmic travelers, spiritual teachers, are calling this the new earth, because it is the earth that is being birthed. All right. A dimension is not a physical location. It is a vibrational frequency that expands our perception and our perception of reality, and therefore changes our reality. When shamans talk about dreaming, that's what we mean. We mean that our frequency, allows us to perceive more of the intangible, more dimensional, new realities, new possibilities that then we can seize to generate change and to create a new world. Right. So let's imagine this. Let me see if I can give you an example that's easy to understand about this moving of dimensions. Imagine that we're walking a hall of mirrors, like the old circuses had. Our perception and vibrational frequency go hand in hand. Right? So when we vibrate at a low, dense frequency, we can only see the obvious. That's low frequencies are shame, guilt, blame, despair, fear, anger. We can only see the dense. So we're now in the third dimension. You know, so then we can only see through the tiny mirror. Just imagine a tiny mirror in the hall that when you come close to it, you see yourself so tiny and everything is so dense and you can't change anything. You know, when our frequency is uplifted, you know, our perception expands, and then we may perceive through a different mirror, the higher mirror, let's call it, the higher mirror. And when we see in that mirror, we begin to see things we couldn't see in the other mirror. We see ourselves as a light being, a being of light, and energies dancing through us, and then their energies flowing through us into the chi field, into the cosmos, and we're co-creating and we're dancing with the cosmos. That is a completely different reality. So that's what's happening now. So when we talk about the dimensions, we could substitute dimension with perception, you know, so we don't mystify, because we like to mystify what we don't know, and then we get scared of it. So imagine it's a different perception, a level of perception. All right. So we are in the third dimension. We've been in the third dimension like forever, you know. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? We only perceive what is solid, because it's very dense, and what is measurable as reality, you know. So we're very kind of solid. And when a shaman says this person is too solid, that's what they mean. You know, they're not fluid. They cannot change. They cannot adapt. They cannot, you know, uplift themselves to see beyond. They're too trapped in the objective, you know, the myth of objective reality. So basically, we can only see material things that are tangible and visible, that we have learned, or this is a table, this is a, you know, this is a chair. We can only perceive that level of reality. Another thing is that while we call ourselves Homo sapiens, and definitely we have evolved from the Cro-Magnon, right? We have developed science, we have developed technology, right? We have developed systems of logical thinking and philosophy and all of that. But we have not outgrown the survival mode. So at an emotional level, we are in survival, instinctual survival, primitive brain mode. Okay. So that's part of the third dimension. The other thing that happens when we're in third dimensional living is that we kind of see reality as something prefabricated, you know, because we are not clear on our personal powers, on our power as creator beings. We do not understand how we create reality. So what happens is that we see reality as a prefabricated, kind of like a house that's prefabricated, and we walk into it, you know, everything is there. It's not going to change, you know. That's how we see reality. And then, because we don't own our creative power, we don't see how we can change that reality. So we're kind of like trapped in a reality that was created by others. That's very disempowering. Now, the fifth dimension, by comparison, is a higher vibrational frequency. So we are up in the frequencies of compassion, understanding, faith, harmony, love, enlightenment. And those are like frequencies that go from 400 to 1,000 and more. So we're vibrating at a higher level, and we can see beyond the obvious. We can see beyond the material. You know, like I can see energy. I can see energy moving. I can see energy patterns. I can see psychic dynamics inside what people would see as telepathy, but it's not. Is that parts of my client comes out, part of the psyche of my client reaches out to me and talks, and I can hear the inner talk, all of these things that look woo-woo, but they're actually normal. And actually everybody can see energy, we're just not aware. So, that's where fifth dimensional is going, because your energies are uplifted, and your perception is enhanced. It's enhanced beyond the obvious and the dense, so you can perceive the intangible, and you can perceive the unity of all things. And we start seeing ourselves as conscious energy beings that are part of oneness. And because of that, we are aware that we co-create reality with the universe. And we are aware that we're part of a cosmic consciousness, or the divine, or the source, however you want to call it, So, for me, when I sit down to write, I'm not alone, It's like I have all my spiritual guides, I'm being given a transmission, It's like I just have to listen. And a lot of times I feel the cosmic consciousness, I can hear a whisper, I can, I'm touched with a feeling, or a new awareness, you know what I'm saying? So it's a co-creation, and that's the fifth dimensional way of living. So I hope that you can see how big a change it is. It's like a different it is a different universe, it's a different dimension, right? And on top of that, so there's going to be growing pains. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. It's a huge quantum leap evolutionary, and they're going to be growing pains, and we're going through them. Right. But on top of that, we're going into a crash course. Because a lot of us have been resisting, avoiding pain, avoiding change, and grown in our comfort zone and take roots in that comfort zone. And now we need to accelerate our frequency, right? So we're going to do it. And why we have to do it is because the new earth already has been birthed and is growing strong. It's already happened since 2012, around that, It's already happening. There are already inhabitants of the fifth dimension, and some of us are in that transition, So it's happening. It's happening. And either we go with the new vibration, or we stay with the old world that is crumbling. Ouch. So yeah, the frequency bus is already doing the rounds, and we want to catch that bus. That's why we're in a crash course. And part of that crash course is, are we ready to become the citizen leaders? Are we ready to evolve democracy? Because what is happening, it just didn't start happening. This is a consequence of a lot of things that were happening while we were watching TV. So we need to awake, we need to become creator beings, we need to defend and evolve democracy at this point, because if not, then it's going to crumble. There are two forces here. All right, so that's why we're in a crash course. So quickly, I'm going to describe the main features of the third dimension and the fifth dimension, so you're clear on what's happening here. But we're going on a journey, and this is a long journey. So there's so much information I can share. But I'm writing a book, download a transmission. If you want to know more, understand more, and get more tools, then sign up for my upcoming book, Creative Emergence. Operational manual for the new you, for the new earth, or on the new earth, something like that. Okay, so you will find the link below that you can go into the waiting list, and then I'll let you know when it comes out. All right. So, third dimension. What is the third dimension? Third dimension is what we've been living so far until recently. It is defined by the primary state of survival, as I said, where we are driven by fear and motivated by pain avoidance. When we are in survival, with the amygdala rising our alarms, we miss a lot of subtle things, of hidden layers of what is going on. As a result, we are easy to manipulate because we're just seeing the obvious, and the obvious, can be manipulated. In the third dimension, our fear creates separation, which leads to conflict, war, and a deep sense of loneliness, because we see others either as allies or enemies. And there's a tribal mentality still operating at a primal level, so that we see those we are familiar as like us, as allies, and everyone else is other and dangerous. It's very primal, you know what I'm saying? That's why all this demonization of the immigrants, that's where it's going. It's going to primal fear. All right. And in the third dimension, power is seen as domination because it is exclusionary. In other words, if you have it, I don't. Both cannot have it. And that leads to greed, fighting for power, oppression in order to keep that power. Power is then perceived as a way of hoarding the means of production and dominating others. Well, this is what this whole mess is about. Huh? So right now, we're in transition from third dimension to fifth dimension. And we do this through the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is a bridge, right? It's an experience of profound and radical transformation, because we need to move. We need to migrate perceptions, right? And in this Pachakuti, this is what's happening. We are in the fourth dimension, going through such a deep, deep transformation that the Mesoamerican shamans call it a transfiguration. That's what's happening in mass for all of us right now as the earth accelerates its vibrational frequency. So, moving to the fifth dimension. What is that? It's a process of self-actualization, where we stop seeing ourselves as victims of what goes on, that we cannot, we cannot do anything. All these big, huge changes, super storms, super hurricanes, what am I going to do? I'm just a tiny person, We see ourselves that way. And we change our perception of us as passive observers. Instead, we are awakened to our own power and see ourselves as creators. We open our ears to hear our soul's song, and we start hearing and feeling who we are as a divine expression, because each of us is a unique divine expression, is an expression of the divine that contains it all. In other words, we're an incarnated divinity. That's a big thing. That's a miraculous thing. But we are not owning up to it. We cannot do it in the third dimension. We need to grow up. So once we start seeing ourselves as this tiny person that cannot change the world because all these things are too big for me, and we start seeing ourselves as an expression of divinity, as an incarnated divinity, then everything changes, because we are listening to our soul potential, our purpose, and we start growing and blossoming into that full potential. And as we grow, we see others that are also an expression of divinity, and we what a beautiful being this is. Oh, I can see the seed of your purpose. I can see how unique you are, a unique expression of the divine. I can see how you can help us co-create this beauty, and we are deeply connected. We are experiencing our deep connection. And that's a fifth dimensional way of relating, because we enter a state of unity consciousness. We awake from the trance of separation. We realize that we are all one. And we realize that what we do to another, we do to ourselves. And that what we do to earth, we do to ourselves. Because everything is connected. And when that happens, then we start working together for the circle of life. So it's not just, no, I want this. This is what I want to manifest. No, it's about what does life need? What does earth need? What does the circle of life need? What's, together. It's like a sense that we're part of a bigger self, that we're part of the cosmos, and we're co-creating in harmony. So we can manifest things that make us happy, but we are going to filter them. We're going to qualify them through the prism of unity. And okay, I'm saying here like everything is unity and love and all of these, and then a lot of people think that means everything is perfect and that's, we're in heaven. No, we haven't. That's not where we're going. We may die. We're not talking about death right now. We're talking about moving from one dimension to the other while we're here, alive, incarnated. And that is not about perfection. It's just that we have everything mixed up. We think that things that we get power when we're perfect. And that's just a myth. It's a lie. All right. So there's gonna be conflicts. There's gonna be discrepancy. But we address them from a place of unity. We have a bigger understanding, an expanded perception. We look at a problem and we see the portal to opportunities. You know what I'm saying? We see our unity. We get together and co-create. Right. And so it's a different way, completely different life, completely different reality, and different vibrational frequency. And so imagine this as evolved democracy, because when we are in that mindset, we want every person in our society to be heard, to be honored, and to be protected, and nourished. We want every being in the earth, every creature in the earth, to have the space for their potential. Right? So that's where we're going, to an evolved democracy. That's what we need to awaken. And you can now maybe see how this means that in the fifth dimension, our perception is driven by love and motivated by freedom. Right? And this freedom is not about what I want, I, me. It is about personal liberation from fear and limitations so that we can express and become our full potential. And then we become the creator beings. So in the fifth dimension, everyone has power. Power is no longer exclusionary. Every person has a personal power because every person is a unique expression of the divine. So we are co-creating. And when we give authority to a person, it's not about giving away our power. It's about choosing a person that can do the job the best for everybody. So that's why I call this leader a facilitator leader, because it's a leader that is at the service of the collective for a particular job or task. And it's an agreement, right? It's not a giving away power. It's an agreement of, we will give you this authority. And if the agreement is broken, we will retrieve that authority. So the leaders we choose as creator beings are leaders that are facilitating different aspects of our society for us, so that we together, we the people together, create the type of world and the type of dynamics that we want, that benefit all the circle of life. So I'll wrap up by saying that at the moment, we are facing three big challenges, and they are all high stakes. So the first one is to uplift our vibrational frequency and expand our perception, so that we can help the earth, go into the new, her new frequency, and move into the fifth dimension, so that we can help birth the new earth. The second one is to shift from reactivity, fear reactivity, into transmuting that fear into passion, excitement, curiosity, and creativity, for us to create, defend the democracy and create an evolved democracy. And the third one is to release learned concepts of power that are keeping us in separation, in the third dimension, in separation, in conflict. And to select and support the leaders, the facilitator leaders that we need, in order to bring a unity consciousness into blossoming, and to create the evolved democracy that we need to repair our planet, because that's a priority, and it's a priority now, right? So, planet, evolved democracy, a repair planet, and for us all, planet and people, to evolve into the fifth dimension. All right, so I invite you to continue this journey with video 3, that will be the Aztec Mayan myth of smoky mirror and feather serpent, with the story of smoky mirror, and seeing the debate through the qualities of smoky mirror, right? And then the next one, the third, is going to be a feather serpent. So they're going to be, I'm publishing them one after the other. So if they're not available right now, that means that they're coming soon, so subscribe to get them. All right, if they're available now, what I suggest is that you click in all the links and save them into watch later. Because what happens is that we say, oh, I'll see it later because I don't have time now, but we forget because life is complicated. So if you put them in save later, then when you have a time to see a video, you go there, and there they are. So let's wrap up here. Thank you for staying with me in this journey, and for taking the time and gathering the courage to co-create the conditions for our leadership that helps us to evolve, to become the new humans for the new earth. Here are 3 things or 4 things that you can do immediately towards this goal. Number 1, check the links below to get the script of this journey, so you can have the whole script. I ad-lib and improvise here and there, but you can see the script of the journey. Then number 2, join the waiting list for my upcoming book, Creative Emergence, Your Operational Manual for the New You in the New Earth. Number 3, and the link is also below. Number 3, check out the link to the article and the book by Native Elder Stephen Charleston for the meditation, the Native American perspective on truth. And number 4, pay it forward by sharing this video with your friends. If you're still with me, I am happy that you got some goodness from this journey. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And until next time, thank you for being you. and for being here with me today.